6.3.
And now, it's Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on SuperTalk 103.1 FM.
Welcome to Coast Vue, where we celebrate every single day the people who are making coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, work, and play. And one of those people who's helping you enjoy life here in coastal Mississippi is Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. So if you're a Saints fan, you know that Friday is Jeff Duncan Day on Coast Vue. Second half of the show, incidentally, we're going to have David Machado from Machado Patano. We're going to get caught up on, he does a lot of fishing. We're going to talk about fishing and what the latest is at Machado Patano. So look forward to seeing that in the second half. Without any further ado, let me say good morning to my friend Jeff. How you doing, buddy?
Ricky, I'm doing good. Another big win. Lots to talk about today.
There is, and you're actually not in your normal location. You're actually at the Saints facility. So we may see a few people stream in while we're doing this, and we understand that. But what you doing there today, this morning?
Well, I had to come out and get tested. We get tested every week for COVID. And then, of course, practice will be coming up a little bit later today. It's big day. We're recording this earlier in the week, but it's, trying to monitor the quarterback situation. That's the big news this week.
Yeah, it is, and we're going to get into all that. We're recording this on Wednesday, just because of the sequence of events here, and this will play on Friday. So maybe some news between now and Friday, but most of the reality of what we're dealing with today is very much the same, and that is that Jameis Winston has had a season-ending injury with an ACL tear and an MCL damage. We've got news today that Michael Thomas has seen a setback and he's seen a physician. And there's a lot more news, and we'll get into all that. But why don't we cover, Jameis and what you think? Is it a Simeon deal? Is Taysom Hill coming back from his concussion? What's the latest on all that?
Well, it's obviously the biggest issue with the team right now is who's going to be the starting quarterback. Saints are going to play that close to the vest like they always do for competitive reasons. But I think if Taysom Hill clears concussion protocol this week, he will be the starting quarterback. At least that's the indication I've been given, and I think he's going to be back. So I think it's probably going to end up being these two guys the rest of the way, with Ian Book probably getting activated now, the rookie from Notre Dame, on game days as well. Sean Payton, we talked to him today. He's very confident. He thinks they can continue to be successful with those quarterbacks. So I guess we're going to find out on Sunday against Atlanta, who trots out there, but I expect it to be Taysom Hill.
Well, look, we've all been reintroduced to Simeon. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? We've heard, you guys have done a great job of talking about his past, and we've even faced him. The Saints have faced him before. He's beaten the Saints before, and then you've had what Peyton has had to say about it. His quick release. He's a smart guy. All those things. But at the same time, there's been a lot of what's going on with Taysom Hill? How bad was his concussion? Are we going to see him back? Are you seeing him around there? What's the latest on that?
Well, I mean, once he clears concussion protocol, he will return to practice. And so we haven't gotten out to practice yet. This is Wednesday before practice. We'll find out if he's at practice. But this through the scuttlebutt I'm hearing, he will be back this week, and I expect if he is back, he'll start.
Well, Jeff, they're not going to I want to understand the concussion protocol better. I had a concussion one time in my whole life, had a bike accident, and I remember the lingering headaches and the vision issues and whatever, and I was just a young guy, but I never will forget what that felt like. They're not going to let him get on the field and go bang heads if he's having any symptoms whatsoever, are they?
No, that's part of the different thresholds he has to pass, is all these medical tests that he's been given. And that's why he hasn't gotten back out to practice before this, why he wasn't active last week against Tampa Bay. It was a significant hit and head blow that he took in that Washington game. And unfortunately, there was a bye week, so they missed a game. Didn't have to worry about missing a game during that bye week. But those things can be tricky when you have them sometimes, and let's just hope he doesn't have any reoccurring issues.
Wow, it's going to be so interesting to see how this all plays out. But, you know, reflecting back on last week, gosh, man, I was standing up a lot during that game screaming because there were so many incredible moments. I mean, it was a team win in every way you can, you know, talk about it. I mean, the it was just a team win. The Saints were not going to be denied against Tampa Bay. And as someone who covers the Saints and has confidence in what's coming together as a team, you weren't necessarily surprised by that, were you?
No, I mean, I was a little surprised they were able to move the ball so effectively on offense once Trevor Siemian came in, just because I haven't really seen him play very much. But it speaks to his preparation, that he was ready to play and could effectively move the team up and down the field. And I also thought Tampa Bay made a lot of really uncharacteristic mistakes, not only the turnovers, but 11 penalties for 99 yards. The Saints, Ricky, gained 6 first downs on penalties. That's a lot for a game. And I just felt like that once the Saints started getting some momentum, there was a little bit early on, a little bit of a shock once Winston went out. And you could feel it in the dome. And once Siemian came in and started making a few plays, and then the Bucs really helped them out with a couple of personal foul penalties, 30 yards in penalty yards. I think that kind of gave the team life and some momentum in the Superdome, and then the defense really took over the game and really won it for the Saints.
Well, you see, okay, we'll come back to the defense then. So defense, what an inspiring effort over and over again. You keep seeing it this year, and with David Onyemata back. When you reviewed the film, did he have like first game jitters, or did you see anything that said, well, he wasn't at his best, but he still got pushing in that interior line, and it really helped us? What's your read on how he contributed?
Yeah, no, he was definitely an impact player. I mean, recovered the fumble that led to a field goal that kind of gave the Saints the lead early on. I think that was a significant play, and he creates a kind of a domino effect because he has such power inside as a pass rusher, and they used him a lot in just third down packages to rush the passer. I think they're trying to create more pass rush right now, and he didn't play that many snaps. I think he ended up playing like 29, 27 snaps. They're going to work him back into it. But they like their rotation right now in their defensive line. And when he's there, along with Marcus Davenport, it's certainly a much more formidable unit.
Yeah, you said this all along, that when you don't have Davenport, you don't have Onyemata, then it really puts the pressure on the remaining superstars that are left. When you have those guys, it's going to really spread out who they can really key on, and it makes it really difficult. I mean, that the strength of our line is we're now beginning to see what that might look like going forward, which was what we saw back in the preseason. I mean, it could be really a defining reason why we win.
Yeah, and look, I think Dennis Allen had a really good package. I mean, he didn't do anything really different. He kind of defended the Bucs the way he did a year ago. I think the Saints just match up very well. And let's not make any mistake here. I mean, not having Antonio Brown and the fact that Rob Gronkowski went out, I think he only played 6 snaps, makes them easier to defend, certainly. Without Brown out there, they concentrated their coverage on Mike Evans, and Chris Godwin had a big game out of the slot against Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. But the Saints did a good job of pressuring Brady enough to where he started kind of speeding up his passing clock. And I thought that contributed to some of the turnovers. He was releasing the ball very quickly. And I also thought that the officiating crew, letting both teams play, letting them get physical in coverage, played to the Saints' advantage, because the Saints are very physical in their coverage, and they disrupted the timing, and led to a couple of those big turnovers.
Well, we talked about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson last week, that he's not playing at the level that he had been playing. And then after watching him last week, do you still have that same impression?
Well, I mean, he had a tough assignment. Chris Godwin's a Pro Bowl player, made a big interception that led to a touchdown. So he did come up with a big play. But look, the Bucs lead the league in passing. I mean, Tom Brady came into the game as the leading, I think, led the league in passing yards and passing touchdowns. So they're going to make their plays. I think when you play them, you have to really kind of trade blows with them, and you have to make plays yourself. And I thought the Saints pass defense, and in particular, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, while he gave up some plays, he also made some plays himself. So I think that's the best you're going to do against a team as talented and experienced as Tampa Bay.
Well, you see toward the end of the game, they scored. And then you realize then, okay, we're about to find out if Simeon's a leader or not. Can he make a big play? Can he do what needs to be done to get the Saints back into this in the way that they needed to? And he did, didn't he?
Oh, yes. Drove them right down the field, converted a couple key third downs, got them that go-ahead field goal, and then the defense did the rest. I was really impressed with that drive that Simeon put together. He's very poised, calm player, and you forget he's started 25 games in the league. He's not, he's not a rookie, so and he acted like it in that moment.
Well, when we come back with Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune, we'll finish sort of a debriefing on the game from last week. What do we look forward to this week? What's the latest on Michael Thomas? My goodness, here we go again. We'll continue that conversation when we come back from break.
Coast View on SuperTalk 103.1 is brought to you by J. Allen Toyota on I-10 exit 38 Gulfport. See all the incredible inventory at allentoyota.com. And remember, when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
It's 2021 and J. Allen Toyota still has a lifetime warranty on all new Toyotas. They all come with Toyota Care. We've got a great rental department. We've got great used cars. We've got a parts and service department ready to help you. So when you think Toyota, think J. Allen Toyota.
If Alexa's part of your life, you've got one more way to access SuperTalk. SuperTalk Mississippi is now available on Amazon Alexa devices. Once enabled, just say, Alexa, play SuperTalk Mississippi at any time and start listening. It's that easy. Just one more way to stay informed and connected with your state. Learn more at supertalk.fm/Alexa. SuperTalk Mississippi. SuperTalk Mississippi. Now available on Amazon Alexa devices.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi. Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen.
Okay.
Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast View with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast View. It's Saints Friday here on Coast View. We have Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune covered the Saints longer than anyone else. Man, he's a Hall of Famer. He's done it all. So anyway, Jeff, okay. So let's talk about, I want to come back to Simeon and Taysom Hill for just a second. What I liked about Simeon is, as Peyton pointed out, first of all, he's a smart guy. Seemed to really efficiently run the offense. He threw the ball away when he saw no open receivers. Lived to play another play. Had to do it a couple of times on third down. That was a little frustrating. But go back and look at those receivers, and they weren't open. It doesn't appear that they were open. But you've got a guy with it. He's got a very tight pass. He seems to be pretty accurate. Very smart guy, and he's never really been given this opportunity to run. He started moving forward at Denver, and then they put somebody else in there. What is the rub on him? Why can't he? He seems to have all the attributes of a starting quarterback. Why isn't he being given that shot?
Yeah, I just think sometimes you're not in the right position, not the right fit for the right team. I know that the Saints took calls from 3 different teams over the last few weeks interested in trading for Trevor Siemian. They were interested in bringing him in, so there is interest in him, and I think the Saints were smart in keeping him on the roster and not giving him up. Certainly, and now it looks very prescient because they need that experience to go with Taysom Hill in the quarterback room. So I think there is some teams that value him, and like you said earlier, he came in here few years ago as the Denver Broncos starting quarterback and beat the Saints in the Superdome. So he's shown that he can lead a team and lead an offense, and he knows this offense very well. That's one of the reasons why they did not want to give up on him, because they knew that this could be a possibility, and they wanted someone with this opportunity the Saints have right now. Their team is challenging for a playoff spot. And they want to be all in, I guess. And so it makes sense to have that quality depth at the most important position in the game.
So Taysom is the guy. What do you expect to see?
Well, I think the offense will be a little different. It'll look a lot like what we saw a year ago when he took over and led the Saints to 3 wins and 4 starts. But, I mean, this team is rounding into form, I think, right now. They're getting very confident. They've won 3 in a row, and I think they feel like they have a chance here to go on a run. Whoever's at quarterback, Taysom Hill or Trevor Siemian, I think they're confident that the team is good enough defensively and on special teams, and getting some of these key players back over the next few weeks should only make them even more formidable. So I think there's reason to be optimistic even without Jameis Winston at quarterback.
Well, I was over in Alabama the last couple of days, unfortunately, to go to a funeral. But man, they are really aware that we gained an Alabama star back on our roster. It was great to see him out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, Mark Ingram's one of the more popular players I think I've covered since I've been here. It's funny, Ricky, he didn't start out that way. I don't know if that's the Alabama background or what, but he felt like he was a polarizing player early in his career, and then suddenly he became beloved, and certainly good to see him back. I think that's a big addition, gives Alvin Kamara some relief, takes some of the workload off him. And I thought he was very productive in the game the other day, made some players miss in the open field, which has been a little bit of a knock on Mark Ingram. And I think he's going to end up being their goal line and short yardage back. That's one of the strengths of his running ability. And I think it just gives them more depth and a guy that knows the offense, and you can have him out there for all 3 downs, which is also important for the Saints, the way they run their offense.
Why did Houston let him go?
I think they're just in transition. They're trying to build for the future, and the Saints offered them a draft pick, so I feel like they feel like they're not going anywhere this season. So they're trying to build for the future. It makes a lot of sense. A guy like Mark Ingram, who's in his 30s, late in his career, is not going to be a part of their long-term future.
Hey, I have to one other comment about Jameis. I was really warming up to the guy. Finally warming up to the guy. I didn't like that he was taking off running the way he was, because he's not known to be an athletic quarterback. And literally, it's just the play before he got injured, I had that thought, and then he gets injured. I hate to say that I saw that coming, but he was really beginning to settle in and find his role, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was playing very well in the game, too. I mean, it was a beautiful pass. He threw for a touchdown to Traquan Smith. He was running at the right times, converting first downs, third down conversions. And it was just unfortunate. Sean Payton said he doesn't think that injury would have happened on natural grass, that it was mainly a kind of a turf injury because of the way his foot stuck into the turf. And that is unfortunate. It's really unfortunate for Jameis Winston in a year when he really needed to have a good season for his career. I mean, I think he saw the opportunity. He was starting to get more comfortable in the offense. So it's a tough setback for him, unfortunate setback for him in his career, because I think he felt optimistic about his future either here or somewhere else with the way he was playing.
Speaking of setback, what's the latest on Michael Thomas?
Yeah, that is a setback. I mean, it was the news that broke this week that he's had complications from his surgery in his rehab from surgery, and he's probably going to have another procedure. At least that's what Sean Payton said. And Mike Thomas announced on his social media platform that he's going to be out for the season, probably because he's going to have another procedure. So that's obviously a tough blow for the Saints. Now they've worked without him now for almost 2 seasons now, so they know what it's like to put together an offensive game plan without him. But I think there was a lot of optimism that he was going to be back and bolster that receiving core. And the Saints did try to make some trades before the trade deadline on Tuesday for a receiver. They just couldn't get one done in the wake of the news that they knew they weren't going to have Mike Thomas. That's really what spurred their interest in getting another receiver, but couldn't make it happen. And Sean Payton said he's confident in the guys they have. They've gotten to a 5-2 mark with this receiving core, and so we'll see how it plays out going forward. But I think they're going to have to ride with the guys they got, Ricky.
Well, you know what? We've got some talented guys on the team. You can't, we watched the rainy game in Seattle, and people drew a lot of conclusions about that. It was good to see the ball get spread out in this game against Tampa. They seemed spirited. They were getting open. They were catching the ball. I mean, you know what? We've got some talented guys, and maybe it's time for one of them to step up, and maybe we'll see it with Callaway or Smith. Who knows? We're going to see some guys step up, don't you think?
Yeah, Deontay Harris came back and made an impact on the field, and you mentioned Mark Ingram now bolstering the running back room. So I think they put up 36 points against Tampa Bay. That's a good defense. I think if this team can just score in the upper 20s, they're going to win most of their games because their defense is just playing lights out right now.
It is so good to see. It is so good. And Demario Davis continues to blow and go, man. It's really fun to watch that guy play, isn't it?
Yeah, he's playing at like a Pro Bowl, all-pro level, and the second level of defense. He's the clear captain at a defense, along with Cam Jordan and Malcolm Jenkins, and they're just so experienced on that side of the ball. They're deep. I think from front to back, there really are no weaknesses on their defense, and you can just tell they're playing with a lot of confidence. They don't make it easy for anybody, including one of the all-time greats, Tom Brady.
Hey, look, when we had that pick six at the end of the game, I can only speak for the room that I was in. It was loud.
Yeah, it was loud.
After that first home game, it was muted. I think maybe a lot of that protocol, I know that it was back to a full deck again, but it just wasn't the same. Saints lost a game at the end. This game was different. It looked like from the moment Ingram came out and led the Who Dats, and then to the end where you had to pick six, it must have been an electric environment.
Yeah, I would say it was probably one of the 10 loudest games that I've ever covered there. It was electric, and I think it had a big impact on the game. People were almost willing the Saints to victory. And like I said, once they started getting momentum late, midway through the second quarter, after the shock of losing Winston kind of wore off, that crowd got into it. I think really energized the Saints, and you could see their body language pick up, and you could see Tampa Bay start to realize, hey, we're in for a dogfight here. This is they're not going away. Just because their quarterback went down. And, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out this week. You got Atlanta coming to town, arch rival. but I think it could be a dangerous game just because of the letdown factor. And I'm sure Sean Payton is hammering that message home to his team all week to not let down. This is a dangerous opponent, a team that's going to want to come in here. They're desperate for a win. So the Saints
they're
need to
desperate
get
for
a
a
win.
But man, look, they're making some plays. I mean, they could be really scary fast, couldn't they?
Yeah, and it's always tough when you got a new quarterback going in there. So I think the Saints will be have to be on their toes and have to play well to win this game.
Yeah. So anyway, hey Jeff, Duncan, thank you so much. This has been Saints Friday here on Coast Vue. Jeff with timespeakinanola.com. We appreciate your wisdom and your insider information. Have a great day today, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I look forward to talking to you after another win, Ricky. Take care.
Anyway, so we'll be back right after this break with David Machado of Machado Batano.
Listen live or on demand and watch episodes of Coast Vue on your laptop, desktop, or on your phone or tablet by going to SuperTalkMSGulfCoast.com.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Feeling down? Here's your prescription for a daily dose of good news and positive vibes. Good Things with Rebecca Turner. Every afternoon, Rebecca highlights all the good things happening right here in the state you call home. Daily exposure to Good Things with Rebecca Turner may cause smiling, feelings of positivity, happiness, and even laughter. When you experience these symptoms, tell your friends to listen. Okay. Weekdays starting at 2 p.m. here on SuperTalk Mississippi and now on Amazon Alexa devices.
Hey South Mississippi, the future has arrived. It's 2021, and at J. Allen Toyota, we're here to serve you. Want to let you know that we have Allen's lifetime warranty on every new Toyota we sell. That also comes with Toyota Care. That's 2 years and 25,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. We have a great rental department. Our service department's ready to take care of your current vehicle. We're rolling out J. Allen certified pre-owned for 2021. You got to come to I-10 exit 38 right here in Gulfport. You're going to love what we have to offer. When you think Toyota, think Allen Toyota.
Get the scoop on what happened in college football and what to expect in the NFL. Each Sunday on Sports Sunday with Michael Borky. Get the story behind the stats, 8 to 10 a.m. on SuperTalk Mississippi, supertalk.fm, and watch the show on supertalk.tv. SuperTalk Mississippi. We're more than just words. This is where the story of your state is told. Proud to cover the Magnolia State like nobody else. SuperTalk Mississippi.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking very hard-to-find PPE items to make our community a safer place. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. They were even sending thousands of dollars of PPE supplies free to local schools in need with help from other local business leaders. The next time your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider a local company that supports your ball teams, cheerleaders, and area homeless. Consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply, the local guys that keep your prices fair, your service and selection excellent, and your health our business. Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
From outer space, visitors from another world. We've had contact with bug-eyed monsters.
This is actually a flying saucer.
Flying saucer?
I'm from another planet.
Where late nights are kind of weird.
Well, they must have a reason for their visit.
The unexplained, the weird, and the downright creepy. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Late nights. SuperTalk Mississippi.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. Talking to Paul Thorne, Mississippi true treasure, really incredible recording artist, singer, songwriter, has been doing it a long time, doing it the right way.
It's almost like a Forrest Gump thing because, I was a boxer, I worked in a furniture factory,
Slash. I had a gig 2 nights a week playing my acoustic guitar in a pizza restaurant. Slash. I was in the National Guard. And,
Wow.
All this stuff was going on at the same time. Slash, I had a writing contract with Rick Hall in Fame.
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show. Every day, we're driving the debate in America with the fastest moving, hardest hitting, most comprehensive, fact-based commentary on the radio. We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth. Our show is a meeting place of ideas. We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Weeknights at 9
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show
on Super Talk Mississippi.
Super Talk Mississippi.
Just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on Super Talk Mississippi. Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3. And now, it's Coast View with Ricky Matthews. Brought to you by J. Allen Toyota and AGJ Systems and Networks on Super Talk 103.1 FM.
Welcome back to Coast View. I really enjoyed that conversation, as I do every Friday, with Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune. And it's fun to be a Saints fan right now. I mean, it's different. Drew's not there anymore. All these dynamics inside the team, this incredible defense, this evolving offense, this great coaching team and ownership team. So you've got this sense that maybe they can pull it off. So it's fun to watch. It's fun to be a Saints fan right now. That is for sure. So now I want to move over. One of the best shows I had, if you look back in the last several months, was a conversation that I had with David Machado and Brad Patano to talk about their architectural and engineering firm. If you missed that, you should go look it up on Coast View. You can see it at your favorite podcast platform. You can just go do a search on YouTube. You'll find it. But it's just an incredible story of determination. And, as I said during that show, you see these Machado, Patano engineering and architecture signs popping up all over the place, not just here locally, but all over the Southeast. And I've invited David Machado to join me again. He's a good friend, someone who loves the outdoors with me, someone who, really giving back to coastal Mississippi. And I just wanted to touch base with him and see how things were going. But before we go any further, let me just say, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ricky. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Hey, before we talk about business, let's talk about fishing for just a second. I look back, like backwater fishing, because of all the rain has been terrible. It's just we just now starting to get saltwater back into Biloxi Bay and some of the areas where we fish. It was a weird season. It seemed like early on a lot of rain and wind and whatever, but we pulled out a couple of good trips. But when you look back on this season, you had a pretty good year, didn't you?
We did. It was fun. We actually got to fish about 4 tournaments in the Gulf of Mexico. Some of the blue water tournaments. Of course, we fished the Golden Nugget tournament. First year for me that I had a boat that I was able to kind of compete in those tournaments, and so it was a big learning process for us and the crew. And I've got a great crew and we had a lot of fun. We released 2 blues and a white this year, caught a few tuna, won the ladies tournament over in Mobile this summer. So yeah, it was a fun year, but it was certainly, we learned a lot too. So I'm already ready to get into next summer.
Well, speaking of tournament fishing, my friend Terry Waldrop and I fished the SKA tournaments. In fact, we worked with Jack what is Jack's last name? Holmes, I think Holmes. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
we worked with him to bring the first SK tournament here back many, many years ago with Bobby Carter over at the Isle of Capri at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the rest is history. SK went on to do a lot of things, but we fished SK tournaments for, I don't know, 20 years. That was a long, long time. Of course, as I started to have kids, I started to, focusing on that. Terry continued to fish the pro division, and he would drive all the way down to Miami and tow a 34-foot boat to Miami.
Absolutely.
That's a long haul, buddy.
It is. It is. I think it's a little bit of an underappreciated event market that we have here between the SKA tournament, the Billfish Classic tournament that we have at the Golden Nugget now. If those boats could get out on Highway 90, they would call it, 2 more cruising the coast, I think. Just with what comes in town and the kind of economy, I think that drives for us, and it really does put us on a map as a really cool destination. And I know, just in the tournament circuit, and I'm sure you can for the Northern Gulf tournaments, I'm sure you can say the same on the SKA tournament circuit, that this is one that everybody puts on their calendar to come to coastal Mississippi and participate in these. The hospitality is just off the chart, the accommodations, they love the change of scenery and our pace here, and so it's something I think that we definitely need everybody here to understand just how big that really is to our.
What started as like a club event many, many years ago, just people would go out, to the mouth of the Mississippi and meet up and go do their little tournament, turned into a marquee event. And when you're talking about economic development it's significant. I mean, it's truly significant. Not just for the people. You think about all first of all, the boat owners and their teams and the families and their friends who come to see them weigh in, and oh my gosh, it just drives a lot of activity, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does. And like you said, it's not just the boat owners, the crew. It's all the vendors. I mean, I see, trailers come down for lure makers and companies like Release Marine that are out of Savannah, Georgia, that make fighting chairs and different things like that. It's really incredible the activity and the people that those kind of events bring in. It's a really, really neat deal.
I'm excited about my new show, SuperTalk Outdoors, statewide show, because we get a chance not only to talk about the incredible natural resources we have here in Mississippi, but I get a chance to really focus on why the offshore fishing and backwater fishing of coastal Mississippi really is some of the best in the world. I mean, I don't care where you come from, where you have access when you leave. Let's say the boats that are coming in for the Billfish Classic, the boats that leave from the Golden Nugget, the waters they have access to there, it's some of the best bill fishing in the world, really.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And just to give you a sense of how good it is, and this tournament in Biloxi is the largest tournament in the Northern Gulf, really in the Gulf of Mexico. I think Bobby told me we had about 115 boats entered into that tournament. There was probably about $1.6 million in just the side bet pot for that tournament. It's a massive deal. And to your point about what we have here in our access, I would argue to anybody that we have it all here. We have the backwater, we have the barrier island fishing, we have the nearshore fishing between amberjack, snapper, grouper, and we have the pelagics, the blue water, the marlin, the dolphin, wahoo, tuna. I mean, we've got everything here. It's really, I think, an under leveraged resource that we have here, certainly for coastal Mississippi.
I'm going to continue to put the headline on what you just said. That is for sure. Hey, let's shift gears. Every time I turn around, there's a new announcement that Machado Batano is involved in something. And we talked in the last conversation about this continued expansion into Southeast. But you guys are just really currently hitting on just about every cylinder, aren't you?
We are. We've been very lucky, and we've got some great people here that's made those opportunities really, when we get them, we're able to execute and provide what we hope is above the status quo level of service. And it's worked for us, and it's really worked well. And the idea of bringing all architects and engineers and even surveyors under one roof, it's provided a seamless service that is not separated by separate companies or separate focus groups. Everything is all for that customer and that client. And we've went so far as now also that we're expanding our reach up into the northern part of the state. We're really excited about that. We've picked up a few projects here recently, one in Choctaw County Schools, which is about 30 minutes from Starkville, and then another one in Kemper County Schools. So we're really excited of those opportunities, and really, it's on to the next challenge. I'm just a believer. If you're not growing, or you're not trying to grow, you're not really doing anything. So we've been really, really fortunate, and it's all about the people. We've just got great people here that they would do just about anything for me and Brad, and we're really lucky.
Well, what's interesting, you talk about schools, and you certainly have a niche there, and we can certainly talk about how that has evolved and how this approach that you're using, very creative, very functional, very strategically specific in terms of embracing education the way where it's going, building buildings that are really preparing for the technological advancements of education and all that. We could talk about all that, but then then you think about what you did over at Ingalls and the kind of creativity that's happening there, and all points in between. You've got areas of specialty, but you're really focused on so many different areas simultaneously, aren't you?
Absolutely, yeah. And Ingalls was really the customer that was a game changer for us. It was, when you go to Ingalls, and this is why I love working over there, every time I go through the gate and we go talk about a project, it's something new, it's something different. And that's because that's how what they do is so challenging, and they're always looking for ways to do things better and provide facilities that can deliver a ship to the Navy more efficiently, quicker, more economical, all that.
All about innovation, man. Innovation. I mean, if you're standing still in that industry, you're going backwards. And the same is true for yours. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit about some of the more notable projects you've been involved in recently as we kind of close out the last section of this. But this is David Machado from Machado Patano Engineering and Architectural Firm, and we'll be back after this break.
You can also listen live to SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on your Amazon Alexa devices. Once you've enabled the skill, just say, Alexa, open SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. I get knocked down, but I get up again. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Hey, South Mississippi, it's Jay Allen at Jay Allen Toyota, and I got something new for you for 2021. It's the Jay Allen Certified Collection. What that means is we selected our very best inventory with under 75,000 miles, and they're 6 years old or newer. That comes with a multi-point inspection, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and a 3-day buyback guarantee. So come check out the Jay Allen Certified Pre-Owned Collection right here, I-10 exit 38 in Gulfport, or on allentoyota.com.
When COVID started, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply began stocking hard-to-find PPE items. When Amazon and other mega internet companies were out of stock or inflating prices, Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply was providing local schools and businesses vital PPE supplies at fair prices. When your office needs PPE supplies, office furniture, or products to keep your business operating, consider Gulf Coast Business Furniture and Supply. We sell that too. Buy local.
SuperTalk Mississippi, your new home for the Ben Shapiro Show.
We don't hold back. We never shy away from telling you the truth.
The most electrifying national talk show on air today.
We have the most important guests and the biggest thinkers in America.
Ben Shapiro, brutally breaking down the issues of the day.
From politics to pop culture, we take a look at all of it. So don't miss out.
Weeknights at 9.
For something new and unique in talk radio, take a listen to The Ben Shapiro Show.
On SuperTalk Mississippi.
SuperTalk Mississippi.
It just seems to me people have so much invested in not telling the truth.
When you want the truth.
Simply because it might hurt some feelings.
And nothing but the truth.
Lose some subscribers.
You want the Gallo Radio Show.
I just think in this audience, you still believe that if you tell the truth, you come out ahead.
The Gallo Radio Show.
And if you tell yourself otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Mornings on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Thousands of Bulldog fans have subscribed to the Thunder and Lightning podcast. Have you? On each episode, Brian Haydad and Joel Coleman give you an inside look at your Mississippi State Bulldogs. The Thunder and Lightning podcast is free and available on demand at supertalk.fm and on your smartphone. Just search for Thunder and Lightning on iTunes, Google Play, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Thunder and Lightning from SuperTalk Mississippi, covering the Bulldogs like no one else.
Hey, I'm Steve Azar, and you never know who or what you'll hear when I spend a Mississippi Minute with my friends. We're talking to Dale Berra. Take me back to growing up and what it was like in the household with a dad like Yogi Berra.
You know, we grew up with his funny sayings. You know, I remember Dad managing the Mets, and me, Larry, and Timmy are watching the game on TV. And all of a sudden, two streakers run out of the stands on TV, and the camera slips away from them. So when he gets home, me, Larry, and Timmy say, "Hey, Dad, those streakers, what were they, boys or girls? We need to know." And Dad looked us right in the eye and said, "I couldn't tell. They had bags over their heads."
In a Mississippi Minute. Be sure to check out In a Mississippi Minute with me, Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi, the SuperTalk Mississippi app, and now available on iTunes, Google Play.
Hey, guess what? Bob is back, now at 106.3, playing the 80s, 90s, and whatever. Check us out, the new Bob 106.3.
Talking to the people that help make the coast such a unique place to live. This is Coast Vue with Ricky Matthews on SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1.
Welcome back to Coast Vue. We're having a conversation with David Machado from Machado Botano. They're an engineering and architectural firm. It's interesting, Dave, you go back and look at the conversation that we had, which I did this morning, and you think about, you started out as a small engineering firm, it just ramped up rapidly, then you added architecture to it. But if you go back in your mind and think about where you were just a few years ago and where you are today, it's got to be mind-boggling to you to get your head around all that.
It really is. It moves so rapidly, and you know, it's funny how you change in the course of your career. You know, you're just really trying to kind of establish yourself, make a name for yourself, do projects, get your name out there. And now we've got a little bit of name recognition. And now I find myself just really where I'm at in my career is I want to make a difference. I want to perform these generational projects like the East Bank at Ingalls. I mean, that's a generational project that will be, you know, make a difference in our community for a really long time. So it's just amazing how your mindset changes quickly over time.
It is. So if you look at, let's look at the past 6 months. Just give people an idea of the kind of projects you guys are working on just in the past 6 months.
Yeah, in the past 6 months, it's been really a whirlwind. So everybody knows the CARES Act and COVID. And so a lot of school districts now have federal money, and they're using them to enforce some COVID measures and protocols. And a lot of that's coming in the form of air quality, replacing windows and different things like that. So that's kind of been the whirlwind of work now. But you know, some of the other notable things that we've been working on in the past 6 months is we're getting really close to finishing construction on Long Beach High School. That's been a really fun project. with the Long Beach School District. Oricon Construction is a local contractor here in Biloxi. They're doing a phenomenal job. And we're putting finishing touches on wrapping up the gym and the Performing Arts Center that they're going to have associated with that new high school. So really excited to see that one get finished and turned completely over to Long Beach.
That's pretty interesting. So what about outside the local area? What are some of the projects you guys have been working on?
So outside the local area, we've been doing some work for Mississippi State University. We're expanding a veterinary clinic in Flowood that they bring their College of Veterinary Medicine students down to do some procedures, and having that facility there is a part of the accreditation, which, and by the way, that's one of like 7 or 8 accredited veterinary medicine colleges in the country. So that's a really pivotal project that we're working on there, and it's under construction now and going really well, other than dealing with some supply chain issues on materials, which is a whole nother conversation. But there again, we're also working on some school work for Simpson County. Just picked those projects up in Kemper and Choctaw. And the state is doing really well. We're really happy that we can, kind of be a part of that, because there's definitely, you got to overcome some of the, well, you're from the coast, how are you going to work up here kind of thing. So that's good.
So what's interesting though, you're from Mississippi State. You went to Mississippi State.
I did.
And when you do a project for Mississippi State, given the number of engineers and architects and others that have left there to be tremendous success, do you feel an added burden to doing that project that you normally would not feel?
I think you feel a sense of pride. I think when I'm doing a project for Mississippi State, which is where I graduated from, and I just have an unbelievable passion for Mississippi State as a whole, from athletics to academics to everything, and so much so that my daughter is a freshman up there, and I was glad that I was able to talk her into that, even though she didn't have much choice. But I think you just have a real sense of pride that you're able to give back your expertise and your talents and things that you've worked 20 years to develop and refine and get better, to give back to a place like Mississippi State that you love. And it's the same thing here on coastal Mississippi. I mean, all these school districts and municipalities and the D'Iberville police station and stuff we're doing for Biloxi. It's just you're making a difference.
So, David, this is David Machado from Machado Patano, but one of the things that I say often on the show, this is certainly true of me, and that is, if you want something done, you got to find a busy person to do it. With all the stuff that you're still doing, you're still finding time to get back to the community. That's really important to you, isn't it?
It's extremely important. I believe, in stewardship, I think that businesses like Machado Patano, we have an obligation to our communities to sponsor baseball teams and to sponsor events and participate in fundraising golf tournaments and do all the things that are part of what you come back to your community for and why you're here. You have to make a difference. And so that's a big deal to us, and that's something we take a lot of pride in.
And beyond that, you're willing to serve on boards and make your contribution in those kinds of ways. And the more successful you get as a business person, it gives you perspective. It gives you the ability to contribute wisdom to boards and your time and energy. Anyway, a busy person, ask David, because he's going to try to find a way to connect his company to the community. But anyway, we're out of time for today. David, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you, man. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you soon.
Ricky, thank you so much. Always a pleasure.
You bet. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Thank you.